Have you ever understood English perfectly while watching a video, but the moment someone asked you a simple question, your mind went completely blank? You knew the words. You knew the grammar. But you just couldn't speak. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most English learners think confidence comes after fluency. They believe, when my English becomes perfect, then I'll feel confident. But here's the surprising truth. Confidence doesn't come after speaking English. Confidence comes from speaking English again and again, even when it's not perfect. The people who speak English confidently aren't always the ones with the largest vocabulary. They're the ones with the best habits. Today, I'm going to share 7 simple habits that can completely change the way you speak English. These habits don't require expensive courses. They don't require hours of studying every day. You can start using them today. And by the end of this video, you'll realize that speaking confidently is much more about daily actions than natural talent. Let's get started. Think about someone learning to ride a bicycle. The first few times, they fall. They feel nervous. They wobble from side to side. But after enough practice, riding becomes automatic. They don't think about every movement anymore. Speaking English works the same way. The problem is that many learners spend years reading and studying, but very little time actually speaking. Imagine someone reading books about swimming for 5 years but never getting into the water. Would they become a good swimmer? Probably not. English is the same. Your brain learns speaking by speaking. That's why these 7 habits are so powerful. Habit number 1. Speak English every single day. Not once a week. Not only when you have a class. Every day. Now you might be thinking, but I don't have anyone to practice with. That's okay. You don't need another person to build the habit. Talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing. For example, while making breakfast, you can say, I'm making some eggs. I need a cup of coffee. I think I'll have some fruit too. These are simple sentences. But they train your brain to think in English. The goal isn't to sound perfect. The goal is to make English feel normal. Just 5 minutes a day is enough to build momentum. Habit number 2. Think in English instead of translating. Here's where most learners make a mistake. They hear something in English. They translate it into their own language. Then they think of a reply. Then they translate that reply back into English. By the time they're ready, the conversation has already moved on. Instead, start with simple thoughts. Look around your room. Think. The window is open. My phone is on the desk. I'm feeling a little tired. Don't worry if your sentences are short. Simple thoughts become longer over time. Your brain slowly stops depending on translation. And speaking becomes much faster. But here's the interesting part. Thinking in English also helps you remember vocabulary. Why? Because you're using words in real situations. Your brain connects the word to the experience rather than to another language. Habit number 3. Learn phrases, not just words. Many learners memorize thousands of individual words. But when it's time to speak, they don't know how to put those words together. Instead of learning the word hungry, learn the phrase. I'm getting hungry. Instead of learning appointment, learn. I'd like to make an appointment. Instead of learning late, learn. Sorry I'm late. Notice the difference. You're learning complete pieces of conversation. Let's look at an example. Imagine you're at a restaurant. The waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?" Instead of building a sentence word by word, you already know the phrase. I'd like the chicken, please. Fast. Natural. Easy. Your brain loves patterns. The more phrases you learn, the faster you speak. Habit number 4. Listen before you speak. This surprises many learners. They want to improve speaking, so they spend all their time talking. But speaking starts with listening. Think about children. Before they say their first words, they've listened for months. They hear the same expressions again and again. That's how they learn natural rhythm. You can do the same. Listen to podcasts. Watch YouTube videos. Watch TV shows. Listen while walking. While cooking. While traveling. You don't need to understand every word. Focus on understanding the message. Pay attention to common expressions. Notice how native speakers connect words together. The more you listen, the more natural English begins to sound. Then your speaking improves without even realizing it. Habit number 5. Don't fear mistakes. Instead, collect them. This habit changes everything. Imagine 2 learners. The first learner says, "I'll speak only when I'm sure it's correct." The second learner says, "I'll speak today, learn from my mistakes, and do better tomorrow." Who improves faster? Almost always the second one. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They're signs that you're practicing. Let's look at an example. You say, "He go to work every day." Someone replies, "He goes to work every day." Great. Now you've learned something you'll probably remember forever. But if you stayed silent, you wouldn't learn anything. Every mistake is a small lesson. And small lessons become big progress. Habit number 6. Use English in your daily life. Don't keep English inside your notebook. Take it into the real world. Change your phone to English. Write your shopping list in English. Set reminders in English. Think about your plans in English. Imagine you're going shopping. Before you leave home, think, "I need bread. I need milk. I need some vegetables." When you're in the store, look at different products. Say their names. Compare prices. Describe what you see. Even if you're alone, you're practicing real English. Or imagine you're watching a movie. Pause after an interesting sentence. Repeat it aloud. Copy the pronunciation. Copy the emotion. Native speakers don't only use words. They use rhythm. Practicing this way helps your English sound more natural. Habit number 7. Celebrate small wins. Most learners only notice what they can't do. I still make mistakes. I still speak slowly. I still forget words. But they forget to notice how much they've improved. Maybe 6 months ago, you couldn't order coffee in English. Today, you can. Maybe last year, English movies felt impossible. Now you understand 50%. That's progress. Celebrate it. Every conversation matters. Every new phrase matters. Every mistake matters. Every small success builds confidence. And confidence keeps you practicing. Now let's see how these habits work together in everyday life. Imagine you're traveling. You walk into a hotel. The receptionist smiles. "Good afternoon. How can I help you?" You answer, "Hi. I'd like to check in." Notice something. You didn't create that sentence from grammar rules. You remembered the phrase. Then the receptionist asks, "May I see your passport?" You reply, "Sure. Here you go." Simple. Natural. Now imagine you're at work. A coworker asks, "How was your weekend?" Instead of saying only, "It was good," you say, "It was great. I visited my friends, watched a movie, and tried a new restaurant." Not because your English became perfect overnight. Because you've been thinking in English every day. Now imagine you're at school. Your teacher asks, "Do you have any questions?" Instead of staying silent, you say, "Could you explain that one more time?" That's confidence. Not perfect grammar. Not perfect pronunciation. Just the courage to communicate. Let's look at another example. You're meeting a friend for lunch. Your friend says, "What would you like to eat?" You answer, "I'm thinking about getting a burger." Your friend replies, "That sounds good." You ask, "What are you having?" A short conversation. But every sentence uses common phrases. This is how real English works. Here's another situation. You're shopping for clothes. The store assistant asks, "Can I help you?" You answer, "I'm looking for a black jacket." The assistant says, "What size do you need?" You reply, "I think a medium." Again, nothing complicated. Just useful phrases you've practiced before. The more often you hear and use these conversations, the more confident you become. But here's something many learners don't realize. Confidence doesn't suddenly appear one morning. It's built through repetition. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't decide whether to do it every day. It's simply a habit. English should become the same. Not something you do only when you feel motivated. Something you do because it's part of your day. 5 minutes here. 10 minutes there. Listening while cooking. Thinking while walking. Speaking while driving. Watching one short video before bed. These tiny moments add up. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. 1 month becomes 1 year. And suddenly, conversations that once felt impossible become completely normal. Let's quickly review the 7 habits. Speak English every day. Think in English instead of translating. Learn phrases instead of single words. Listen more before speaking. Don't fear mistakes. Use English in daily life. Celebrate every small improvement. None of these habits are difficult. But together, they're incredibly powerful. You don't need perfect grammar before speaking. You don't need to know every word. You don't need a perfect accent. You only need consistency. Every day you practice, your brain becomes a little faster. Your vocabulary becomes a little stronger. Your confidence grows a little more. And eventually, speaking English stops feeling like a test. It starts feeling like communication. So here's a simple challenge for today. Choose just one of these 7 habits. Only one. Practice it today. If you're walking outside, think in English. If you're watching a movie, repeat 5 sentences aloud. If you're making dinner, describe what you're doing. Don't wait until tomorrow. Small actions today create big results later. Remember, every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. They weren't born confident. They built confidence through daily habits. And you can do exactly the same. Keep showing up. Keep speaking. Keep making mistakes. Keep learning. One conversation at a time, you'll become the confident English speaker you've always wanted to be. If you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe for more videos that help you speak English naturally and confidently. Keep practicing every day, believe in your progress, and I'll see you in the next lesson.